Hello, Ben. So this is Desiree and Mine's project. So let's get right into it. I'll start explaining things as the game goes on. So what we have here is a multi-level based game with enemies that you shoot. You gotta go find a key, and then once you have that key, a variable gets updated and then allows you to open a door. So for the enemies, we just have turrets. So I made different turrets for different levels to do different damage. And they're kind of slow, so they're easier to dodge in the beginning. There becomes more of them. So if it hits me correctly, you saw at the top left corner of the screen that it did damage, and that is relative to the health bar as well. You can sprint, so there's the stamina bar and stamina recharge for that. When you hit the enemy, so it takes 2 shots to kill these first level enemies because they have 50 health and the player projectile does 25 damage. So hit him again, he disappears. There's notifications up in the top left hand corner of the screen just for debugging purposes. So these guys are kind of placed all around like where you would need to go. Since I know the level, I know that I gotta come this way to get the key. So that little orb thing over there is the key. Kill this guy, and once you touch the key, sound plays and little message said key is obtained. So that changes the variable value for this specific key of this level. So now that variable value is true, we can go over to where the door would be, and it will be active now. So I can show you in the next level. The door, when it's inactive, has a different texture than it does when it's active. So, and if I show you, you probably noticed, but if you're at a certain range with these guys, they won't attack you because the turret has a range. So if it detects a player within the range, then it starts shooting. And that range variable can be changed based on each specific turret or for each class of turret. So see, now that we have this door here, it's glowing like this because we already have the key. So that'll allow us to hit that, and this is exiting level 1. Now we're at the second level. So it starts off a little bit harder, a few more enemies, a bigger screen. These guys have a little bit longer of a range. It's still easy to dodge the attacks because of how the projectile physics work. They kind of drop really easily. As you can see, these guys take 3 hits to defeat, so they're 75 health with the player doing 25 damage. So I'll some of these guys. I think it's up around here. And to make it a little bit difficult, I placed these turrets, some of them up top, and gave them a longer range so that they can shoot farther. But obviously, still they're easier to dodge. You can see 3 hits knocks out an enemy. Alright, and this game is not necessarily made, you don't need to defeat all of the enemies, but it's beneficial to you because you won't get shot at, generally. As you can see, we've generated structures. This room over here is just kind of a trick room, so that you go back here and you're like, hey, wait, the key isn't back here. So, and there's just an extra bunch of enemies. Also, forgot to mention, if you didn't notice before, when my health had dropped because I got hit the first round, the health value resets once you spawn into the next level. So here we're approaching where it's going to be. I'm actually going to go back and show you the door before we actually get the key, just to show that that's working. Okay, I'm just going to run past these guys real quick. And then right here. So we have a brick door. When we go up to it, it says failed because nothing has happened because we don't have the key yet. So let's go back and get the key where it was. Pick out some of these enemies on the way. And we didn't focus the most on like the playable levels and everything of the game, just because we wanted to prove the concepts. And since the concepts are there, then you could spend hours and hours developing, the platform in which you'll play your game. This guy. And over here you can see the key. Let's get a little guy guarding it. And whenever those enemies shoot balls, it kind of deflects based on just the default projectile and how it works. So if anything, shooting your gun also blocks their attacks. So, get this key, plays the sound, run past this guy. See how far I can get while my stamina is still up. Keep going. Right, since we know where the door is, we'll be able to go straight there. I can just run through these enemies because our health is going to regain anyways. And see the texture of the door also changes when you do have the key. So let's hit that. Now we're at level 2. These guys do a little bit more damage now, and they also have a larger range. There's different projectile classes for each level of enemy, as well as it does not share the same projectile that the user. So they have a little bit more health. I think they take 4 direct hits to kill. Yeah. 2, 4. Yep. So now if we go this way, because this is where the key is, this level is a lot bigger because it's the third and final level. So there's a lot more enemies positioned around. Their turn radius and how they latch onto you as a player and shoot at you, that can all be changed. But we kept the turn speed pretty low, just so that it's easier to dodge them for the sake of playing the game. This is another level that was kind of put here that doesn't really have an objective, but it just is, a distraction for the player. And then, yeah, because the key isn't over here. Now we have a minefield with these guys, instead of just, letting them shoot me, taking a bunch of damage. I'll just run through because we have the stamina. I think it's, yep, over here. So here's an example, I guess, of the range. See how close I am to this guy, and he's first firing his projectiles at me? Now, look at what happens when I get close to these guys. I'm twice as far away, and now they started shooting at me. That's just due to the variables that we can change with the different turrets. Okay. Let's grab this key. And since I know where I'm going, I placed a bunch of them in specific areas just to, lead the player into the right place they're supposed to go. So you can see that last door is sitting there. That red texture meaning that it's ready and we have the key. So let's just sneak past this guy, hit the door. It says you win. Then it plays that ominous track. Alright, I hope you enjoyed our game, and thank you.